Hello and welcome to my set 10 itemization guide. Okay, this is for patch 13.24b. I will be going over what I think are the best items to be making right now on this patch, and itemization is actually very important in terms of deciding what you can play and also for saving HP in the early and the mid game. Okay, and the reason why the items are so important is because it can pretty much decide good itemization can decide your end game placement. Of course, for example, if you make terrible items, then you really can't play the game because none of your carries can hold the items that you made early game, right? So if you are kind of lost or you're just kind of curious, I'm going to give you guys the rundown of what I think is good. Okay, so we're just gonna go in order here. I thought about like doing this multiple ways, but we're just gonna go in order here, and I'm gonna explain my reasoning. These tiers should be used as a loose guide. Anything in S, probably just want to slam immediately. Okay, unless there's like an explanation for it. But okay, first item, Archangel. Okay, you're gonna call me a fraud, but if you're watching this, you're gonna call me a fraud. Okay, so this Archangel item is not very good, except when you're forced to when you have a rod and a tier start. I can explain some like component ideas later, but rod and tier start, maybe not the maybe not ideal. Like rod tier sword, you can't really slam anything because you don't really want to make gunblade. Shoujin's pretty bad, I'll get to that later. And then so Archangel, you're like, bro, this shit sucks, right? Because who can hold Archangel? Pretty much nobody. Like the best users of Archangel are like Karthus. Like people want flat AP, right? So like Karthus and Twisted Fate AP users that have no access to AP, flat AP, and um, so I would rate this like D if it was just Karthus and TF because they're a little bit out of meta right now. And you can get Karthus's Archangel through Superfan anyways. But it'd be good in TF. So like bump it up if TF was better. But actually, low key, I have like secret tech that's not really that secret, but it's EDM Lux. Okay, if you have Archangel, you actually have a way to play EDM Lux. And now Archangel is kind of like and I saw that I'll put it like situationally A tier. Okay, situationally being you're not contested EDM, there's no Jax players holding your Luxes, and you have like a good Lux angle, and you have like a good holder for it early, like Annie or like Senna or something. So it's actually not bad. Okay, this item's not actually bad. It's not bad. It's just up in the air in terms of where it should be placed. If you make this, know that you are ending Lux, Karthus, or TF. Okay, and I mean you can try and slam this on Ari. Probably not terrible. But like, yeah, you are ending up here somehow, and it better be good early game if you want to slam. It is good early game, okay, on AP user because fights tend to last longer. But yeah, none of those are meta comps. So if you're a little bit of an enthusiast, situationally good, we'll put it B for now, okay? Bloodthirster, okay? You only build this, pretty much only. Of course, there are exceptions, but usually you want to build this. B will be our situational tier, I guess. When you're playing a melee carry, okay, melee carry being Riven, being Yone, like these rerolls, or you're ending up with like slapping this late game on like a Yorick, a Kiana, a Viego, a Zed, right? But Zed's super fan item is a BT, right? Any melee carry, it is actually very good. And it kills a cloak. That's the important part, okay? So, certain components are stronger than others based on the strength of the items it makes. So right now, cloak is considered not very good, mostly because it cannot make many good items for typical win streak early game boards. But it can, I mean, cloak is not completely worthless, but it's kind of bad. And same with rod. Okay, rod is the other component that's not very good. We'll get to that later. But if you look at the rod components, it can't really make anything that great. Okay, I'm sure we will get to it as we proceed in this video. But okay, you play melee carry. S, okay, Riven Yone loves this item. You're playing like Viego, he needs some kind of, he says you need some kind of healing. Viego's super fan item is the Titans, okay, just just things to know if you play the super fan into level 8 board. So obviously situationally S, And if you're playing like AD Flex, AP, then obviously you don't want to build this. But this is actually quite good. Mix out of a cloak. Maybe we'll put an A because it's not actually like S. You're not gonna win streak with this shit. It's just in the comps that need healing. It's this or Hodge. Okay, for the most part. Okay, blue buff, S tier. Okay, why is it S tier? This shit got buffed. Now it is usable for AD Flex. Before, it was only usable on Ari pretty much, and it was bugged, so it sucked because it did less damage than it was supposed to do. They fixed the bug, they added AD onto this, and now it's S tier because you can use this on Ari and another meta 4-cost carry, Ezreal. And another meta 4-cost carry, Akali. Okay, so this blue buff item, if you can slam this early, can slap this on any holder. Corki chosen, Kai'Sa chosen, fuck it, Lulu chosen. Okay, actually low key, Lulu with blue buff, and you hit the Spellweaver Lulu. This is actually a top 3, top 2 comp in your game. Unironically, Lulu reroll with blue buff, drop the super fan because this Lulu super fan item is Shojin. That shit sucks. 7 Spellweaver Lulu reroll actually good. Okay, so S tier, blue buff, slammable, strong, early, and late game. Early is debatable if you can find a user, but yeah, very good. Okay, Bramble, this shit kind of sucks. Like 2 chains, you make a Bramble. I feel like your front line doesn't get any better. Obviously, it bumps. This item gets better. Situationally good, I guess. The more AD there is in the lobby, but there will always be 4 RE players every lobby. This shit has pretty much no value. Not the greatest item right now. You're not really too happy slamming this. Low key would prefer to not slam this. If you have chains, you really want to make Crown Guard, you want to make Heartsteel. We'll get to that later. Okay, this is pretty not very good. Okay, I pretty much never make this. Honestly, fuck it, D tier. This shit sucks. Okay, Deathblade. this shit sucks. Okay, it's not completely unplayable. But for reasons that we will get to later, I'm just going to spill reasons now. Deathblade uses 2 swords, and any AD flex is an AD item, obviously, right? Any AD flex item, any AD flex comps that you want to run, and Samira, which is AD reroll comp, they all want Infinity Edge. Okay, Infinity Edge is like one of the premier AD items right now. And even like random melee carry, fuck it, Zed can use IE, Viego can use IE, like I'm down, like Yone can use IE, Riven can use IE, but this Deathblade shit, like man, you only make this if you have like 3 swords, okay? Like you only make this if you need it. It's not that good. Like it's good early, and then kind of like not very good mid-late game. Yeah, not that great. Okay. Double cloak. This shit blows. Okay, this shit terrible. It does kill 2 cloaks. You know what? Fuck it. C. You know, does kill 2 cloaks, and we know cloaks are not very good. But sorry, a little tangent here. Cloaks are good in comps that can use cloaks. So even Shroud is a good item you can make out of cloak. BT QSS is great. Actually, BIS for Riven comps. So if you get a bunch of cloaks, you want to angle Riven ideally. And it can also make Runons in AD Flex, okay? We'll get to Runon. We'll get to all that stuff later. But yeah, Cloak's not very good. Again, this shit sucks. You don't want to slam this unless you have like 2, 3 Cloaks. You can't get rid of this shit. And it doesn't really, I mean, it's not really that tanky. I mean, all the AD Flex units just plow through this item like it doesn't exist, right? All the Akalis, all the true damage, all the Kaelin, all the Ezreal, you're gonna get fucked, right? Okay? And the enemy melee carry, they're like destroying you, okay? This only works against Ahri. Okay? This shit only works against Ahri. And then she just kills the declaw user anyways. Okay, like it will slow down Ahri by like one, 2, 3 casts. But yeah, this is a negative item for against every other matchup. Okay, and again, like TF not very popular right now. Karthus not very popular right now. Even if you're playing against Karthus not aiming your tank with the declaw. He's aiming your backline because they have less HP. So yeah, this shit is not very good. You only slam it if you have no choice. Moving on. Edge of Night. Now we're gonna rate Edge of Night based on this chalice there's no chalice in the game anymore, right? Unless it's a support item, you can't make it. Edge of Night, we're only going to rank it based off of its usability in a comp, and its usability boils down to melee carry. Okay, let me give you an example. In Jax, A tier, right? Good item. Doesn't maybe not necessarily Gigabyss, but some may consider Gigabyss, some may consider it good, okay? So, good item in Jax, good item in Yone, Good third item, maybe after BT Titans, or maybe like I don't know, maybe BT Titans Edge and Knight doesn't sound that great. But like, Titans Yone, not bad as a third item. Like not bad, but not really slammable. Honestly, this should kind of be. And then Viego Zed, honestly, I don't know if you really want this item on Viego Zed. You kind of need them to do damage, but then you would like them to drop aggro if you can fit a third situational item, sure. But it really shines. This item really shines late game. Okay, why late game? Because the stalling and where it goes, like the user goes invisible after dropping below a certain amount of health and like any attack speed. Very, very, very good on Kiana. Giga S tier Kiana. Okay, but like, but this shit does not help you streak. And it's only good as like a third item on your melee carries, and it's not even good on Riven. Okay, the stats show that this item is not even good on Riven. Okay, it's only good on Yone, only good on Jax. I don't think you're ever gonna see a Viego or a Zed run this because you hit the chosen Zed Viego. Then you would have to build an Edge of Night, but like, is this slammable early? No, does not help you streak. Not very good. Very situational. B tier, maybe even C tier. But yeah, I mean, Jax users love it. Okay, Stone Plate. This shit got buffed. Still sucks. Okay, you really don't want to make a Stone Plate. Honestly, kind of joins the shit tank items with the Bramble and the Declaw. This shit is terrible. It's good for like 4 rounds stage 2, and then it's just god awful. Okay, and a part of the reason why it's god awful is it just doesn't give enough value for your tank, and you have to solo frontline your tank. And as we all know, Arya's meta right now. She's gonna shit on whatever stone play, and it doesn't matter what you give your tank. Arya's gonna shit on it, right? So you just stone play your tank. Oh, it's dead, right? So this shit not very good. Would not recommend. Do not build this unless you have no choice. GS, not slammable early, does nothing early. Okay, GS does nothing early. It uses a valuable component, a bow, which builds into rapid fire. We'll get to that. But know that it uses a bow. It uses a sword, which builds into IE. We'll get into that. Okay, uses valuable components. Not slammable early. It's pretty B tier, but as a late game item, very good. Okay, starting stage, midway through stage 4, stage 5, stage 6, great pickup for secondary carry, even primary carry. You're dropping super fans for whatever reason. You can get GS, like GS Caitlyn, like that shit is pretty good. Okay, maybe not GS Ezreal. Okay, GS is just front to back item. So GS Caitlyn, GS True Damage Akali. Is there anything else? GSTF. It's B. Late game it bumps up to an A, maybe even S. But yeah, it's pretty solidly B, or like, maybe not even C, but like not slammable. Okay, not slammable. Just know that this tier list is not like, oh, like always make, never make. Okay, obviously everything is situational. If you have 3 swords, you have to make a DB, for example. If you have Rod tier, you're making a fucking Death Cap or an Archangel. But yeah, GS you don't want to slam, only want to make late game. Good late game. Guard Breaker. This is also kind of B tier. Man, you just make this if you have too many components. You can't make anything else. It uses a belt, which is valuable because it makes the premier tank out of Warmogs. We'll get to that. And then it uses a crit, which is very valuable. Makes slammable early game, which is still good late game item Hodge. And premier tank out Heartsteel. Yeah, Guard Breaker is just something you make when you don't really have a choice and you just need like a carry item. A generic carry item. It's not very good because it doesn't give you direction one way or another. And what I mean by that is that it's not clearly AP item and it's not clearly an AD item. It does give crit, which is some direction. Let's say, yeah, like Jewel Lotus or something, like Guardbreaker goes up in value. But yeah, it's pretty B tier. Like, you don't really want to slam this stage 2. It's not really gonna help you streak. You want to save those components to make something that's extremely good. Now, Rage Blade. Okay, if you are like lower ranked, like Diamond Below or something, you will be surprised when I put this shit in D tier. This shit sucks dick. Okay, and let me explain why it sucks dick. Okay, first of all, it is a great early game item. Don't get me wrong. Stage 2, stage 3, you're in business, man. Like, this shit does damage. You got frontline and 1 Rage Blade. We're killing people. Like, this is looking good. In fact, before they killed the Fast 9 strategy, if you don't know what that is, it was when you would go pretty much skip level 8, go 9, roll down, find like Sona, slap a Rage Blade on Sona. That was great. Okay, Rage Blade was amazing. Streaked early, Fast 9, Rage Blade Sona, call it a day. Rage Blade now unusable on every forecast carry. Okay, like actually unusable on every single forecast carry. And the fights late game are now going very quickly, meaning that the Rage Blade is getting less value. And it uses a bow, which can make red buff, which is the best item in the game, probably right now. Okay, and we'll get to that. Okay, so Rage Blade D tier, terrible. Good early, terrible late. Like the only time I can see this ever being played on a forecast carry. Terrible on Caitlyn, terrible on Ezreal. Maybe as a mana gen item on Karthus, but Karthus is out of meta. So if you're playing a Rage Blade Karthus with like Archangel or some shit, your chances of top 4 aren't looking so hot unless you can go 9, slap this on Sona. If you can slap this on Sona, it's pretty A tier, like, right? But with the meta right now, we need to stabilize on 8, then go 9, and then find a Sona. Like, in what universe are you going to be able to use this Rage Blade item? No universe, okay? Shit sucks. Hodge, S tier. Why S tier? Slammable early, always been considered a good early game slam, right? It does use a tier, which is half a blue buff, and a crit, which is half a heartsteel or half a IE, but it gives you power early, and is very useful late game. All right, why is it very useful late game? Well, in fact, almost everybody can use a Hodge, right? And what I mean by that is by everybody, I'm talking about 4 cost carries. Like when it comes to these items, okay, we're not talking about like reroll. Usually, we're not talking about reroll unless I'm like literally talking about reroll. Like Hodge is actually used in reroll, can be used in Riven, can be used in Yone. Any melee reroll carry is really good. Samira with an IE, Hodge synergizes very well. Hodge is used in almost any 4 cost carry. You get a Zed, slap a Hodge. You get a Viego, slap a Hodge. You get a Akali, slap a Hodge. Honestly, Caitlyn and Ezreal both can use Hodge, right? Very, very good, very flexible, and keeps his strength in the late game. S tier slam. You want to make this shit when you can. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about Hodge. Gunblade. Now, this is interesting. Now, this is not necessarily a bad item, okay? This is not necessarily a bad item. The issue with Gunblade is that it's not a good early game slam. In fact, it probably does nothing when you slam it early game, because Gunblade does healing based on how much damage you do. And if Gunblade is your first item, you're still doing no damage, right? So you're going to heal for healing times 0 is 0 healing. Nice. But it is a good third item, especially when you need to kill rods. And we said rods are not very good. Rods with art is a pretty weak component right now, probably considered the weakest component. Right? I can I can pull up like the chart. We'll talk about components after, okay? I could pull up the chart. If you wanna see that part, probably like skip to the end of this video while I pull up the item chart. And we talk about like what components are strong. But it kills a rod, okay? It's just that like this GS stuff and this Edge and Night stuff for melee carries, it's made third, if ever. Okay, you can put on Ari, like the AP is good on Ari. Any AP reroll, maybe Lux. We can talk about like Lux items, I guess, briefly, like Archangel, Gunblade instead of Hodge could be good, right? But yeah, you're not really gonna see much Gunblade. It's not very good, maybe situational, right? But yeah, we don't like Hodge. Okay, not slammable and not really that great late. Kind of sucks. IE, okay, this shit is insane. Okay, this shit is top 2 item in the game, probably. Top 3, top 5, whatever. Top 5 item in the game. Amazing on every single AD user in the entire game. Okay. 3 cost reroll. Samira, good. Riven, usable in certain situations, like somehow you're playing IE, and then IE, Hodge, and like Titans, and you have QSS and like augments. That shit is usable in Yone. This shit, Yone can use this shit. You have like Titans, BT, IE. That shit sounds insane, right? Samira, obviously the best item in Samira because she's executioner. She needs to crit. Her ability is she needs to crit in order to stack style so that she does more damage with her ultimate. Amazing on Samira. Go to the 4 cost. Amazing on any of the melee carries. Viego, Zed, Akali, even especially Akali. She's also executioner. Like abilities can crit, they do hella damage. You want to do like a lot of burst upfront damage with these melee carries. And then like you go to Caitlyn, bro, it's like Caitlyn's best item so that her ability can crit. And then like Ezreal, it's like Ezreal's best item so he can ability crit and one-shot the backline, right? Oh, dude, this item is broken. High key. Fuck it. We go to legendaries, Lucian, Jhin, it's all usable, right? So IE, insane. Okay, IE insane. synergizes with any of the crit augments, the Jewel Lotuses. They made it that in set 10 that there is synergy with building IE and like Jewel Lotus now. Okay, it used to be terrible. Now it's good. Okay, amazing item. Okay, amazing item. Okay, Spark. This shit sucks. It kills a cloak. It kills a rod. Haha. That's cool. You could play this in like Ari, 6 Sentinel, something like that. But usually your front line just gets Thanos snapped by like Ari or something. So you're getting like no spark value. But in comps that are front to back that do AP damage, like somehow we're playing Vex main carry somehow. I don't know how the fuck that would happen. But let's say we're playing Vex main carry. Oh, Spark is pretty good. Ari main carry. Spark's not bad. Spark's not bad. Outside of that, this shit blows. Okay, you probably want something like Static that's more consistent in applying Shred, because the Static holder is not going to just like randomly die, hopefully. Yeah, this is just unreliable, and usually you want 3 real tank items rather than a fake tank item, because if you have a fake tank item, unlike your Echo, let's say you have like fake tank items, like you have fucking Spark, Sunfire, Declaw. That is not it. That is -3 items right there. That Echo basically has no items. Okay, this shit not very good. You don't really want to make it. Doesn't really streak you early. Yeah, not ideal. There are probably situations where you have to make this, but I can't think of any of them off the top of my head. Jewel Gauntlet sucks. Okay, in what universe are we ever playing Jewel Gauntlet? Okay, so let's go through like the AP carries, and remember, Karthus out of meta. Good in Karthus. Good in Karthus. Karthus out of meta. Vex, maybe in Vex plus Samira, maybe like maybe playable, but like not really. You just pull this off the carousel or something, or an anvil. And then TF, yeah, you need flat AP first before you make a Jewel Gauntlet. So that means Death Cap, that means Archangel. You need some source of AP before you get spell crit. And even then, like this shit kind of mid, okay? And then when you play, like ideally it should be played in Ari, right? Like you would think like it's best in Ari because spell weavers give AP and this thing can crit, but for some reason it's really not that good, mostly for the reason that Ari best items is actually blue buff Nashers and not this Jewel Gauntlet item. Okay, so this shit honestly could be D tier, almost unplayable, and then situationally playable. Okay, if you do the Lux tech, Lux can use this as a 3rd item. Any EDM unit, when you sample Lux or Jax, can use a Jewel Gauntlet, because if you didn't know, the EDM units will use the sampled unit's base ability. If I have a Lux 3, everyone's firing a Lux 3 laser, and then multiply it by the items they hold. Zac with a Jewel Gauntlet is going to crit with his Lux laser, for example. Okay, so that shit is insane. S tier in EDM. Okay, but like this is like EDM specific. Okay, so this shit not slammable, doesn't scale. Honestly, low key kind of D tier. Okay, I mean honestly, fuck it, Sparks D tier too. This shit, these items like honestly doesn't really seem makeable. Low key blows. Like niche cases like Rage Blade. You have an MF angle. You're playing AD. You have no choice at this time. Rage, oh bro. Okay, like MF obviously insane with Rage Blade, right? But like yeah, it's just unless I tell you an exception here, these items kind of suck. Okay. Last Whisper. Now, this is a good item, okay? But caution, making Last Whisper first. Bow, crit, sword, you're going to make an IE first, okay? Why? You want to leave an open bow for the red buff. We keep saying red buff is OP. Red buff is giga broken, okay? And then the crit, of course, can be very flexible. Can be Last Whisper, can be Hodge, can be a Heart Steel premier tank item. But the key reason why Last Whisper is not S, in my opinion, okay, if you have opinions, please feel free to let me know in the comments below, is because the other Armor Shred item is Even Shroud, and Even Shroud uses a cloak, and cloak sucks cock. So if Even Shroud can remove a cloak, we're in business, right? Which means you don't need this Last Whisper item, okay? Speaking of Even Shroud, does anyone see Even Shroud here? That's crazy. Where the hell is Even Shroud? I guess we use Zephyr as Even Shroud. Okay, anyways. Wait, is there a Nashers here? What's going on here? Oh, this is adaptive. Oh, Jesus Christ. These items are fucked. Okay, this is adaptive. Okay. Sorry. This is like a scuffed tier list. What the heck? Okay, it says set 10, but it's kind of fake. Okay, this is adaptive, okay? So, pretend this chalice is adaptive. Okay, adaptive helm. Sorry, for beginner players, some of these items are gonna look not not the same as what you think they are. But just know that I say this is adaptive. Look up what adaptive looks like. Okay. In fact, I'll look it up for you. Look, TFT set 10 items. Okay, tier plus cloak is adaptive. Okay, this thing's adaptive. We're gonna use this. Okay, this shit sucks. Okay, but it uses a cloak, which is good, but it uses a tier, which is bad because we said we like blue buff, right? You don't want to make adaptive unless you only slam early game, and if it's your only slam early game, bro, like don't like I would just not make this shit and try and take a tier off carousel. Just fucking loose streak, take a tier off carousel, make a blue buff. I don't know. And like this shit is not good, but it's like not that bad. But like, yeah, you don't really want to make this. Fuck it. C, I guess. It's like not the worst thing in the universe. But yeah, you would prefer this to not be your tank item, okay? And then, bro, we're just doing the most scuffed items here because like I'm about to show you like the next item is Locket, but it's actually Crown Guard. Like I don't know why the items are giga fucked here, but here, look, this is Crown Guard, okay? Chain and Rod is Crown Guard. This Crown Guard, okay, right here. S tier, baby. Okay, why is this S tier? It's because it uses a rod, and we know like rod is very weak right now. We'll get to that. Like all the rod items. Fuck it, I'll show you right now. Okay, all the rod items, don't look at this bad, are terrible. Okay, Gunblade sucks, Rageblade sucks, Spark sucks. These are just flat AP items, which sucks for the main AP carry, which is Ari right now. And then Morello's, which is like, it's like, okay, I guess, is a source of heal cut. But then you want to make a red buff anyways, which is heal cut, so you don't really want to make this. And then Jugana sucks. Okay, Rod is terrible, unless you're trying to make flat AP, which is you're playing Lux or TF or Karthus, and all of those are not really meta right now, okay? And so yeah, Rod sucks, but making a Crown Guard, amazing. Why? It uses a Rod, and it's a premier tank item. Premier tank item on who? Echo, great tank. Premier Sentinel tank goes in the super fan package plus Sentinel. Mordekaiser, premier pentakill tank. Good in Amumu, premier country tank. Right, this shit is amazing. Okay, this item is amazing. Okay, Crown Guard, amazing. Slam it immediately if you have it, most likely. Yeah, it's good. Morello's, yeah, this is pretty mid, honestly. In certain comps, you kind of need to make this. Like if you have a random rod and you're playing Riven and Yone and you have an open belt and you already like made even shot or something, you slap Morello's and you put on Viego. That's your heal cut. You know, like whatever. You know. But yeah, you don't really want to make this. You really want to make red buff. Honestly, this shit kind of sucks. But it is heal cut. You will take this if you have no other option. It's pretty mid. QSS. This shit is terrible. Okay, this is actually unmakeable at all times. Except sometimes you put it on Kiana, probably A tier, and Riven's one of most Riven's most important item. Third, like you need to make this third on Riven. It becomes S tier for Riven. Okay, but unmakeable for anything else. You make a QSS, you best be playing Riven. Okay, unless you're like Giga TFT God and you have like IE Hodge QSS chosen. And you're fucking win streaking every round, going 9. Like I don't know, man. Like if you can make this item and not play Riven, I will be impressed. Okay, I will be impressed. Death Cap, this shit is not good. Okay, why? It is good. I mean, same reasons. Like flat AP is good in TF. Is honestly the same tier as Archangel. Good in TF. Good in Karthus, good in Lux, okay? Good in AP comps that don't have a source of AP. Ari does have a source of AP. It's her super fan item, Death Cap, and it's Spellweaver, which gives AP and AP per cast, right? So it's only good in AP comps that that don't actually have AP already, and those are not really in meta, so pretty B tier. But it is makeable. Sometimes you're playing Samira. I had a Samira game the other night, and I got dropped. I had a Last Whisper. I got dropped Rod, tier Rod. Fucking Archangel, Death Cap, Vex. You know what I mean? So not like the end of the world, but yeah, you don't really want to make this item if you don't have to. Okay. Red buff, best item in the game. Like I'm pretty sure it's the best item in the game. Usable on all 80 flex. You know, use them on Kaylin. Best Kaylin item, like best Ezreal item. It does hella damage. It's heal cut. It's amazing. It's amazing for streaking early game. It's amazing mid game. It's amazing late game. The only times you don't necessarily want to make this is when you are playing certain reroll comps. Like you're playing Lux Very awkward, very hard to fit red buff. In fact, don't even know if you can fit red buff. Only users like Zed. I don't know if you are putting a red buff on Zed. It's hard in Riven. Not exactly hard, but it goes on Caitlyn. Usually when you're playing Riven, you want to make the 3 Riven items first and then armor shred, right? And so this is not one of those 4 items. 3 Riven items and then armor shred. It's just a Caitlyn item, which is Caitlyn's best item. Okay, so next to Infinity Edge. So still really good. But and then in Yone, again we have the same problem. This goes on Viego, so I guess it's not even bad if you can streak with this and then slap this on Viego later. Not even bad, but like Riven, Yone cannot really use this red buff, right? But amazing on all the 4 cost carries. Honestly, they can almost all use it. Akali is great, can use it. Like Ari, okay, maybe not the best, but usable. Ezreal, amazing. Caitlyn, amazing. Viego, honestly, pretty good. Zed, maybe usable. Not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that, but it seems. I mean, it seems playable. This is just amazing item all around. It's good early, mid, and late game. Okay, Redemption. Now, Redemption is not a slammable early game item, will not help you streak. It is just a -1 item, I think, in the early mid game. But in the late game, after you make 3 tank items, or maybe this is your 3rd tank item, it is good. Okay, this is a good late game tank item. Good late game tank item, not slammable. We'll put it in B tier. Okay, Runons. Okay, Runons, S tier. Why? They buffed it on 13.24B, and it kills the cloak. Okay, I know it kills a bow, but it's good early. Okay, helps you streak early, helps you save HP early. Good on all, usable on all the AD flex users. Like, fuck it, Caitlyn, Ezreal can use it. Like, if you're desperate, fuck it, slap it on Akali. Like, okay, that's not, like, ideal, but, you know, like, you do what you must, right? Saves you HP. Kills a cloak, okay? That's the important part. It kills a cloak. Like, killing a cloak is important, okay? Yeah, killing a cloak is important, okay? Because that component is bottom 2 component in the entire game, right? But yeah, good early, kills a cloak, very good, can be used late game. S tier. Obviously, you don't want to like go out of your way to take a cloak off the carousel to make a Runons. Don't do that. Because I put an S tier. Do not do that, okay? But yeah, good item. You'll see all high elo players slamming this, okay? Shojin, this shit sucks. Okay, this shit sucks. Why? We'll explain. Okay, so Shojin can only be used on what? Karthus and TF, again, not in meta. Is not really that good early. Doesn't exactly help you streak. Uses a sword, which is a could be an IE S tier item, or a blue buff, also an S tier item. So it uses 2 potentially S tier components, and then it's not even good late game. Only good on Karthus, only good on TF, very mid on Ari. The difference between a Shojin and blue buff is insane. In niche comps, like Lux reroll, doesn't even want a Shojin, by the way. Lux wants flat AP plus healing. So like Deathcap, Archangel Hodge, Jewel Gauntlet, you know, that kind of stuff. So no Shojin there. Can't even be used in Lulu reroll. She wants blue buff, and Shojin is giga bad on Lulu, okay? Only usable, Karthus, not meta. TF, not meta. Well, kind of meta. I guess you could play it on TF, but this doesn't help you streak. Sucks early and mid game. And Sona, acceptable on Sona late game, but like, you know, not even that good. It's kind of hard to fit a Sona on your board nowadays. So yeah, this is the word. Oh, and Jin, but Fast 9 is dead, and no Jin board exists without Giga High rolling. And even if you Giga High roll, fucking Jin plus Alawi 2 on 8, that shit is dying to 6 true damage. Let's be honest, okay? This shit terrible. If you think this is good on Caitlyn, you need to see a doctor, okay? You don't want to make this and slap this on Caitlyn. You're gonna be depressed. Static. This is not bad, but it's not good. Why? Uses a bow, red buff. Uses a tier, blue buff. Okay, uses potentially S tier components. It's not D tier because in certain comps it's extremely important. For example, EDM Jax, you really want a static to shred the enemy magic resist, and you don't really want to use a spark to do it because we said spark kind of sucks unless you're front to back AP carry, and EDM is not really front to back, it's just back to front, honestly, low key. So static is very important in that comp. Static is very important in potentially Karthus if you're playing Karthus or TF, right? So very necessary. It's just the importance of static goes up when you're playing AP and the spark shit sucks. So yeah, only good in Carthus and TF again, and Lux, and Lulu. Heartsteel, premier tank item, top 2 tank item in the entire game. This shit's broken. It's probably getting nerfed. Yeah, you have this shit. You probably just want to slam like Crown Guard and Warmongs. We'll get to that later. This shit is insane. Premier tank item. Definitely extremely good. It's theoretically better the later you build it. This shit's already good when you build it on your first item. Fuck it, right? It's already good. So S tier. This is also Crit and Chain. Okay, Sterak's. This shit is mid as fuck, honestly. Like, it's not even that bad. But, like, you can't... It doesn't help you streak. Okay, you slam this, it doesn't do anything. And it's only really usable as a third item. But, like, not even. Like, third Riven item or Yone item if you're desperate. You don't even want this, right? It's probably best when in the late game when it's based off, like, max HP, right? It's best in the late game when you have a lot of HP already, whether through augments or items or star levels. Very good on like Yorick, very good on Yorick, Kiana, like these kinds of frontline legendaries, and very mid on okay, Giga D tier if you're not playing Bruiser like melee carry, Riven, Yone, Zed, Viego, and then even if you're playing those units, it's not even slammable. It doesn't save you any HP. It shit sucks. Okay. You'll prefer not to make this, honestly. But it's probably not like Giga D tier. Honestly, I'm down to put it in C tier just because on Kiana and Yorick is actually really good. Sunfire, this is pretty mid. And the reason being is that it uses a chain. Chain can make 2 premier S tier tank items, which is, remember, this is Crown Guard and this is Heartsteel. And Belt can be used to make Warmox, which is also a premier the other premier tank item besides Heartsteel. It is heal cut, but remember, you want your heal cut to come from red buff because it's the best item in the game, pretty much. So you don't really want to make this just like Morelos. It's not very good. If you make this stage 2, it might fuck with your item economy. Like you just use this belt chain and then you end up with like another belt and a crit. Bro, that could have been a fucking Warmox Heartsteel. Like you just lost the game or what? Yeah, like you use this to streak stage 2, take it off a carousel, no heal cut late game. Not it's good early, terrible for your item economy, not very good. TG, now TG is interesting. I'll put it in C tier. TG is good if you have a decent board and then you just TG a random like a level 8. It doesn't happen often, but if you have a decent board and then you just like TG a random chosen that's like a melee bruiser, Viego, Akali, Viego, Akali like Zed, like it's not bad. But you don't really have enough components going around to like make a TG randomly. It is good. It is good late game on random legendary like Yorick and Kiana. But you don't really want to slam a TG. You don't really slam TG for tempo. This doesn't really give you any tempo. I think mostly because usually in the past you slam TG on a 2-star unit. And it could carry you, give you tempo. You're going to try and use this to streak. And now it's all about, streaking with your chosen, giving your chosen premier items, super fan items. You're not slamming a TG on your you're not slamming a TG on your chosen, let's be honest. So you're just kind of like down like 2 components. Like it's makeable. It's not the worst, honestly. You could put on like random Akali. So not terrible, not amazing, pretty average. Yeah, don't really often slam TG. I mean, that shit could have been a Heartsteel Hodge, IE, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit maybe like C tier, maybe situationally good. Definitely depends on like your augments. If you have like the TG augments, this definitely goes up to like A or S tier, right? But like, yeah. Okay, this is controversial. Titans, extremely good in the melee bruiser comps, and a lot of high elo players will probably disagree with me, or a lot of high elo players will agree with me. But I think it's important, especially when if you have Gargantuan Resolve, this goes up, right? But like you're not obviously gonna have Gargantuan Resolve, which is the augment that makes your Titans better. But I think you need Titans to go Giga on Riven. Okay, you need Titans on 3-star Riven to make her go infinite. Otherwise, she might be too squishy. Same with the 3-star Yone. I think Titans, Titan stacking, giving armor, magic resist, and then fly AD and stuff is actually quite good. And it's a very easy way to very slammable, very slammable early. If you have Eve chosen, Olaf chosen, can help you streak, can help you save HP. Jax chosen honestly is good on Jax too. Like honestly, Jax reroll can use or does use Titans actually. So I think that personally I think that TG is good. Okay. Would not slam TG with the idea of playing Zed or Yone or Akali, excuse me, for cause carry. Would not make this Titans. Thinking I'm gonna play that. I am making Titans because I'm playing reroll Riven, reroll Yone, reroll Jax. Okay, maybe reroll Urgot if you have to put TG on him. I guess I don't know. It's not that great, but it's not A. It's definitely situational. B. And if you're playing like AD Flex, don't make this shit. Okay, only for those reroll drain tank 1v9 bruiser machines. Okay. Warmogs Premier S tier item. Probably I would rate this as the best items is Warmogs, Crown Guard, Heartsteel. You have those 3 items on your main tank like Echo or Blitz or whatever, Alawi, whatever. That shit is gonna be the tankiest motherfucker you've ever seen. Okay, and you think it's Bramble, Declaw, Warmogs? That don't do anything. Now it's Warmogs, Crown Guard, Heartsteel. Okay, that shit is just tanky versus everything. Or tanky against AD, tanky against AP, tanky against Riven, tanky against Yone, tanky against your mom, tanky against your dad, tanky against your family. This shit is amazing, okay? Warmogs, Heartsteel, Crown Guard, this is the Holy Trinity, okay? You can quote me on that. There's no way I'm wrong on that, okay? And if I am wrong and you're like challenger or higher or whatever, yeah, feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm always interested to hear your thoughts. But yeah, I'm not wrong on this, okay? Let's be honest. This is Sterax, okay? And then this builds out of a cloak and a belt, which means that this is even shroud. Okay, this shreds. This is your armor shred, and it builds out of a cloak. S tier, baby, because it builds out of a cloak. This shit used to be unmakeable. Okay, last patch. Amazing this patch. AD got buffed. Kaelin's playable. Ezreal's playable. The 3 cost rerolls. Yone, Riven playable. Amazing on everybody. Amazing here. Amazing there. You're playing any AD comp. Boom, boom, boom. Make even shroud. Okay, you don't have to make the last whisper. Save the crit for IE. Save the bow for red buff. You're in fucking business. Okay, you just slam this bad boy, and you're like, this is my shred. And then you're like, oh, but what about Spark? Like, didn't we say like you put this on like your front line, and then it's like -1. It's like -1 tank item. It's like, yeah, it is -1 tank item. But you know what else it is? It kills a cloak. Okay, and that shit is lit. Okay, last one is bow plus belt. This is a Nashor's. Now, this is an interesting one. We are putting Nashor's in A. Okay, and it's not S for the exact reason that no one can use this item except for Ahri. Okay, no, but you do not want to put this shit on anybody. You could, oh yeah, you're like, oh, you put this on Kiana. Like, yeah, okay, you could put on Kiana, like, sure, but like, you don't want to really put this on TF. You don't want to put this on Cardis. They're not even meta, and it's not even good on them, right? Actually, it's not even good on them. And then Ziggs, the other Nashor's user, Fast 9. Fast 9's fucking dead, and Ziggs got nerfed. Don't put a Nashor's on that dude. And then like, okay, it's good on Vex. There's no Vex comp. It's just Samira plus Vex. So like, this is like, you pick the shit up off carousel anyways or whatever. And then like Lux doesn't want this. Like nobody wants this item except Ahri. And it is amazing on Ahri. In fact, it is Ahri's best item next to Blue Buff. Blue Buff Nashor's is probably Ahri BIS. Blue Buff being much better. Well, I don't know about much better, but better. Blue Buff much more flexible, that's for sure. Nashor's not flexible. Can only be played in Ahri. You slam this, you better be angling Ahri. If you slam this, you're not playing Ahri, it's fucked. Okay, and this Nashor's item, it's not looking good. Okay, if you slam this, you don't play Ahri, you're going 8th probably, I don't know. But you're playing Ahri, you're in fucking business. This shit is amazing on Ahri, okay? So yeah, and then that's pretty much the tier list. Oh, and this is good early. It is very good on AP early, like a Senna, like a Annie, like early AP choseners, early AP carry in general. Very good on almost all of them. I can't even think of any that's not good on. So yeah, and then let's talk about like the components here, okay? Because I did say we're gonna talk about components. We can talk about specialists as well. S tier Spatula, it's just fucking true damage spat. If you don't know why, watch my most recent how to just get a free top 4 from true damage spat. This shit is broken. If you don't want to watch that because you're lazy and you're already at the end of this video, it's just play you just play 4 to 6 true damage and then play the KDA package with the super fan. So that's the Nico and the Lilia cannon plus the Echo, not the more because Echo's true damage. And then you just add 1 KDA, which is the Ahri because Ahri's broken, but it could be E because Eve's crowd diver and you want to play Kiana. Kiana's true damage, whatever. Just watch the video. You just roll down 4-2, pick up any 4 cost carry chosen that's not called TF, or maybe even fuck it, you can use Karthus, just probably not TF, and you just slap this bad boy on them with a red buff or something, or IE Hodge, doesn't matter. This shit's broken, okay? If you buff for with this, you did something wrong. It's a player diff. Unironically, there's a lot to learn if you buff for true damage spat, okay? Best use on Kaylin, best use on S0, second. 8-bit spat. S tier if playing Riven. Otherwise, unusable, obviously. Pentakill. Oh, yeah, I should say if you play the Riven... Oh, yeah, refer to my Riven guide. This is the automatic top 2 if you have 8-bit spat and you have a Riven 3 with a Kaylin. You know, you got the 6 8-bit. You're winning the game. Barring someone else's high roll. Yeah, if you are already playing Riven, you get this. You're just winning. Oh, and it has to be 8-bit Riven. So, not always guaranteed win, but pretty good. And then you put the 8-bit spat on, like, Viego or something. Or Lucian even. Pentakill spat, very good. Play 7 Pentakill. You can play the Karthus Viego. If you and it's easy to get 7 Pentakill. This is much makes Karthus ending Viego much more attractive. Okay. Very good Spatula, A tier spat. Jazz spat is falling out of favor, but late game if you have random Jazz in, just is very good. Kitty A spat, very good if you're playing the super fan board and you don't have the Ahri +1, you can actually just KDA spat and then drop the Ahri +1 unit. That sounds pretty good. Fuck it, add a York and a Lowry. I don't care. Good spat. You don't really normally play vertical, but maybe you could look for a 7 KDA with like Akali and Ahri and stuff. But yeah, I just use this to drop 1 KDA unit. Emo spat, we don't talk about that. Heartsteel spat, we don't talk about that. Punk spat, this Punk sucks dick, but I don't know if you're reeling Punk, you're a masochist. And you're not really getting Fawns, but Fawn's okay, I guess. And then let's talk about components, okay? Sword. Let's talk about the tier of components, okay? Let's just go down the list, and we'll talk about this. Sword is extremely good because it can make IE. That's it. You don't want that many swords. You just want to make IE. Too many swords, angling like GS late game or something, okay? You don't want too many swords, but you do want an IE when you're playing any kind of AD comp. It's amazing. If you're playing Yone Riven, you only want BT. You only want 1 sword. Okay, only want 1 sword. Yeah, you need the sword, but you don't want too many of them. So kind of like B tier component. Maybe when you're playing Samira, you need an IE and a GS, or IE and a Gunblade or something like that. Yeah, you don't really want too many swords. It does make a true damage spat though. So kind of like B tier-ish. Okay? Very important though for IE. You need at least 1 sword. Bow. Amazing. Makes red buff. That's all you need to know. Makes fucking red buff. Okay. GS, good late game. We don't really care about that. Amazing. Makes red buff. Titans is really good in the 3 cost reroll we talked about earlier. Runon's very good early slam. Usable late game. Rage Base sucks. Don't make it. Static sucks unless you need Shred late game for your AP comp. Nasher is very good if you're aiming Ahri. Last Whisper, good Shred. Okay, very good Shred. But you probably want to make it after you have a red buff already, or you know, you just have to slam something because you have 3 or 4 components and Last Whisper looks pretty good. You can just slam, okay? Bow, S tier, because you can make red buff. Chain. I actually think Chain is probably like B tier. Like in general, if you have chains, you only need 1 for Titans if you're playing melee reroll, and then if you're playing tank, you only need 2. Okay, you don't want more than 2. You only need 2. You Crown Guard. Okay, you can make a Crown Guard. And then you can make a Heartsteel. Okay, but if you have more than that, more chains than that, you are not very happy. Like, what else are you supposed to make? Also, Protector's Vow. we didn't put on here because there's no Protector's Vow here for some reason. But Protector's Vow goes in C tier. This shit sucks dick. Actually D tier. Unmakeable. Uses a tier and a chain, both S tier components for blue buff and Heartsteel and Crown Guard. Amazing on Kiana, but that's very late game, and you're not making a Protectors. Like Protectors doesn't streak, and is not good early, mid, or late game. You only take it off Carousel. I mean, it's good late game on Kiana, but yeah, maybe good late game on like York or something. But yeah, that's Protector's Vow. We missed it because it wasn't in the tier list, but like that shit is like not good anyway. So don't worry about it. Okay, so chain, very good, A tier, but you don't want too many chains. Cloak. This is a bottom 2. This is terrible, okay? Why? Because let's say you're playing like 3 cost reroll. Cloak is actually quite good. You are playing Riven. You need 1 cloak for BT, 1 cloak for QSS, 1 cloak for Even Shot. Actually very good in Riven. You're playing Yone. 1 cloak for BT, 1 cloak for Even Shot. Pretty good. You play anything else, okay? BT unmakeable. Runons, makeable, okay? Gargoyle, terrible. Declaw, terrible. Spark, terrible. Adaptive Helm, terrible. QSS, terrible. Even Shroud, good, okay? Why? Even Shroud and Runons, why? When you're playing AD Flex, you're looking to make these, is because it kills cloaks. You cannot use the cloaks otherwise. You're playing AP. How the fuck are you using a cloak? You're making a spark and then you got another cloak? Okay, I'm down to FF, man. Like, what is this? Right? Like, it's terrible, okay? Like, this is, I mean, people hate cloak for a good reason. You get a lot of cloaks and go Riven. I promise you, you're gonna have a good time. Rod, again, bottom 2 component. This shit is considered probably the worst component, depending on what you're playing, okay? So if you're playing AD, the only makeable item from AD is a Crown Guard. To be fair, Crown Guard is an S tier item, S tier premier tank item. And the other one may be Morello's if you don't have a red buff. But like, there are not many Morello's holders in this set, so it's not very good. Okay, almost nobody can hold Morello's except for Ziggs and TF. Haha, right? Like, yeah, this is not a good item. And then that's it, right? You don't really want to make a Gunblade. It kills a sword. I mean, if you already have an IE and then you have an extra sword, you know, maybe a Gunblade's not even that bad. But yeah, you don't want to make any of these items. This shit sucks. Now, if you are an off-meta player like me and you like angling Lux, a Rod is your best friend because you want flat AP up the wazoo. Actually, if you play off-meta Karthus, off-meta TF, Rod is your best friend. You want that flat AP to make them do big damage. Okay, like essential Lux item is a Death Cap or an Archangel. Requires a Rod or 2 Rods. Okay, I prefer Archangel, but Death Cap very good on Lux. And then Gunblade good on Lux, right? On Karthus, Archangel amazing on Karthus, Death Cap amazing on Karthus, Jewel Gauntlet amazing on Karthus. And then if you're playing TF, Gunblade amazing, Archangel amazing, Death Cap amazing, right? But like these units are not very meta. But if you are getting a shit ton of rods, you should consider one of these AP lines. Okay, you need to consider an AP carry that does not get flat AP from trades. So like not Ari, not Lulu, you know what I mean. Okay. Tier. S tier component, mainly because it can make a blue buff and a Hodge, which are good early game slams. Okay, S tier component for that reason. Late game, not even bad because you can make a redemption. And then can be important for static, for AP carries in the late game, but you're oftentimes not really making a static. But yeah, S tier component because it can make these amazing early game slams, blue buff and Hodge. You don't really care about the other shit, right? But you can kill off some component. I mean, you can kill off a cloak with adaptive, I guess, right? Doesn't really happen much nowadays. And if you love playing AP off meta stuff like Lulu reroll, fuck it, blue buff's amazing. We talked about blue buff already. Archangel, good in Lux, good in TF, good in Karthus. So yeah, if you play AP, tier is pretty good. You play AD, tier is very good. Blue buff, Hodge, yep, not bad. Belt, A tier. You get a lot of belts. You're not honestly worried at all. You know, 2 belts, fucking Warmox, amazing. You get an extra belt with a cloak. Bam, we are playing Even Shroud, right? We're getting an extra chain. Man, I like Sunfire, acceptable, sure. We get a bow, extra bow. We have a red buff ready, bro. I'm down to play Arya Kali. Like, yo, belt. We're very happy to see belt. Worst case scenario, you're making like a guard breaker or like a Sterex on your Kiana. Guard breaker as your 3rd carry item on Ezreal Caitlyn. Not even bad. Like guard breaker on Akali, Karthus, Ari, not even bad, okay? You're happy to see belts. Not a problem. Glove. S tier. Makes IE. S tier item. Makes Heartsteel. S tier item. Makes Hodge. S tier item. Glove is crazy. Because, you know, it might not be red buff, but it can make IE and Heartsteel and a Hodge. And that's 3 of the S tier items. That's fucking crazy, okay? And Last Whisper, very good, okay? You know, Even Shroud just usually takes the K because he uses a cloak. And then yeah, and then the other stuff, like, who cares? Like, low key, we're not making a Jewel Gauntlet. We don't want to make a guard breaker. Glove is like Thieves Gloves is like acceptable if you have extra gloves, right? You could just slap this on Akali or Kiana. Very good on Akali, Kiana, you know, not bad. But yeah, I mean, the fucking power of glove to make IE, Heartsteel, Hodge, and then if you're playing Riven, it's Hodge and QSS, you know, that kind of stuff. Man, this is a good component, okay? And so that is the full itemization guide for set 10 patch 13.24b. Hopefully you guys learned something. I hope that I have not exposed myself too much as a fraudulent player, but hopefully I have made my logic very clear. Don't take this tier list too seriously. It is like a lot of these from A to D are situational, right? It's not like you never make these in Deer, although you prefer not to make these. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and if you have questions, of course, do not hesitate to ask or reach out. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys will go forth and slam these Giga items and start top 4ing very easily in your like in low elo. You make these items, you're just going top 4, okay? I promise you. Just don't make this like, don't make garbage, okay? And then if you I think tomorrow's video I will be looking at I start with IE red buff. I will show you how to go first with it. Okay, it was automatic first when I had IE red buff. I will show you guys how to abuse that and then play AP flex from there. Okay, or sorry, AD flex. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments. If you don't want to see it, too bad. I'm making it anyways. Okay, thank you for watching. It's been a fucking hour. Hopefully you guys weren't too bored or whatever. I'm rambling. See you guys next time.